Hello, my name is Dr. Sheela Magge, and I'm the Division Director of Pediatric Endocrinology and Diabetes at Johns Hopkins. My area of particular interest is youth onset type 2 diabetes. As you know, type 2 diabetes, which used to be thought of as an adult disease, has increased in youth with increases in pediatric obesity. During the pandemic, I and other pediatric endocrinologists noticed what seemed to be an increase in the numbers of new onset type 2 diabetes in youth and in its severity. But given that rates of diabetes wax and wane over time, we could not be sure that this was associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. So, in collaboration with colleagues at the University of Colorado School of Medicine, we gathered data from 24 pediatric diabetes centers across the US to compare the rates of new onset type 2 diabetes among youth 8 to 21 years old in the 2 years prior to the pandemic to the first year of the pandemic. We identified over 3,000 youth during that period and found that the average number of new diagnoses per year in the first year of the pandemic increased by 77% compared to the pre-pandemic years. Also, we found that 21% of young people diagnosed presented with what we called metabolic decompensation, compared to 9% of children during the pre-pandemic years. And this metabolic decompensation meant that they were quite ill, often needing to be admitted to the intensive care unit. In addition, we know that in general, youth onset type 2 diabetes affects more girls than boys. However, during the first year of the pandemic, we found that more boys were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes compared to girls, which is a reversal of what we saw during the pre-pandemic years. Also, the disparities that we see in youth onset type 2 diabetes, which disproportionately affects our ethnic and racial minorities, were exacerbated during the pandemic. We saw rates among Hispanic youth almost double during the first year of the pandemic, and the number of diagnoses among Black youth doubled as well. So all of these disparities in presentation were quite alarming, and we'll need to see what happens to our youth as they continue to progress. Thank you for your interest.